Hello, my name is Stephen Collins, co-founder of Anark, and we are very happy to be a part of today's Co-Experience 2020 virtual event. With me today is Mr. Ed Dreyer, Senior Manager of Connected Factory and Digital Manufacturing at Boeing. Ed, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen, for having me. And again, my name's Ed Dreyer, and I've spent time on both military and commercial products within Boeing over the last 30 years. Currently, I spend time working through model-based engineering for engineering bill of materials, model-based process planning, and factory flows and simulation.
That's great, Ed. Thank you very much. Today, we will be discussing Boeing's digital thread strategy and how they are harnessing the power of industry standard formats to effectively deploy a connected and collaborative digital enterprise. I thought I'd start by providing a brief overview and background on Anark for those of you who are not familiar with the company. Anark is a leading provider of technical content management and visual collaboration software. We work with industry-leading enterprise manufacturers across most of the discrete manufacturing segments, empowering our customers to successfully deploy digital thread, digital transformation solutions and applications. Specifically, we enable our customers to generate and manage role-specific technical data packages, or TDPs, and connected digital workflows to provide more efficient communication collaboration all along the digital thread throughout engineering, manufacturing, supply chain, field service, and so forth. We're based here in Boulder, Colorado, where I'm talking from, and we have offices throughout North America and Bangalore, India, and we have a worldwide network of technology and integration partners to help support our customer success on a global scale. I'd now like to drill down and provide a bit more detail on Anark's relationship with Boeing to provide a little bit more context for the topics we're talking about today. Anark is a proud Boeing second century partner. We provide advanced content management, data distribution, visual collaboration capabilities that are utilized throughout the extended Boeing enterprise. Our systems integrate seamlessly within the diverse Boeing data management and digital ecosystem, including Dassault 3D Experience. And one of the things we really focus on is harnessing the power of several key Boeing second century approved standard formats such as PRC, 3D PDF, W3C, GLTF, and others. We'll be focusing on some examples later on in the presentation. Some of the key challenges or needs that Boeing and Anark work on together, the first one is Boeing's desire to more efficiently distribute technical data for improved document and browser-based data access, visualization, collaboration to serve users across a whole array of functional areas and use cases. We'll be showing you some examples of that here shortly. The second major challenge area that we collaborate with Boeing on is really the need and desire to streamline their production of 3D interactive wire harness assembly instructions for all programs to improve quality and to accelerate their production rate on the shop floor. And third, we're involved with helping them with the effective deployment of AR and XR-based systems to more efficiently support various manufacturing and MRO applications across different product lines. I'd now like to hand it over to Ed so he can expand and provide more detail about Boeing's second century digitalization initiatives. Ed?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. Hey, working within Boeing, our mindset for second century enterprise systems is to accelerate the digital transformation of our company and be able to utilize authoritative information to advance our products and services through the conceptual phase, development phase, manufacturing phase, and long-term support. For our transformation, we are using Dassault systems and the 3DX platform, along with extended capabilities provided by Anark Core. This will unlock our full potential throughout the product lifecycle management and manufacturing operations management teams. Additionally, with our supplier base, we can maximize value with the information flows using data standards as the best mechanism to facilitate that. The graphic really represents how working with a single source of authoritative digital data can provide faster development of concepts and prototypes, faster development of product design and analysis, the possibility of experimentation with materials and part sizing, a better and more complete understanding of product management and data attributes between CAD, CAM, and Boeing systems and applications. Higher quality and interoperability from engineering to manufacturing to long-term product support is what's needed. Engineers value commonality and reuse over redesign and apply creativity through simplicity and modularity. We work in teams and now can work anywhere. More work matching requirements and reducing errors up front is a large benefit to the enterprise. Automated transactions of digital designs, simplified engineering also reduce cost. We are looking at real-time performance measures to improve the quality of our products. We want consistent engineering processes across programs while eliminating data recreation and reconciliation that can be troubling. And finally, the ability to use digital thread capabilities across the entire value stream will dramatically improve flow time for new products and services. When we look across the enterprise value stream, there's an abundance of use cases coming in the XR space. With XR, there are now more instances of how technology can benefit the enterprise. For engineering, product creation, product assembly, and installation, we're seeing some gains with the use of this technology and all brought together using standards. We can now take an engineering model and directly input that data into our manufacturing bill of materials. Now, shop mechanics, working with teams from production engineering and industrial engineers, can create options for assembly through model-based work instructions with tablets, wearables, or mobile devices. It's just the start of a transformation that will create higher efficiencies, improve quality with less rework. That's innovation. Using open standards such as 3D PDF, PRC, GLTF, HTML5, and others are paving the way for innovations.
That's very exciting, Ed. This provides a great overview of how Boeing is incorporating and utilizing industry open standard formats as a major component, as a cornerstone of its digital thread strategy. And this is something, as you well know, based on our work together, that Anark and the Anark core platform is really designed, it was built to embrace open standards as a major component of our capabilities. And since what we're trying to achieve here is more efficient, more effective access to technical data and content, the right information, the right place, the right time, all along the full spectrum of use cases, all the way from product development out to support and retirement, it's important that you be able to provide knowledge workers with the right information that can be accessible from any location, which is particularly important in today's time of COVID, and be able to target any device that's required, whether that be a PC, a laptop, a tablet, smartphone, or as is featured on this slide in many of the use case examples, some sort of wearable or heads-up device, so that, again, folks can get the right information, the right form that allows them to make better decisions in real time to drive greater efficiency across the entire life cycle. My friend and colleague, Paul Peralt, is going to showcase a few different use case and solution examples that will highlight how many of these open standards are incorporated in real-world applications and digital thread solutions.
Thank you, Stephen. So as mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, we're going to look at some examples in these three main categories here. First of all, we're going to show off our solution for distributing various different types of technical data and enabling a form of visual collaboration on that data. We're also going to be looking at 3D wire harness and assembly instructions. And then finally, some examples related to AR and XR for manufacturing and field service. So let me switch over here to my web browser. And what we're looking at here is Anarch Core MBE Web. As mentioned earlier, this is a fully standards-based solution. It's a browser-based solution, so it's all HTML5, WebGL, GLTF, cascading style sheets, JavaScript, etc. And what I can do here is I can log into this portal, and when I do, I see technical content that I have access to. So for example, I'm going to search for TDP, and you can see here that I've got two different TDP content items that I can interact with. So I only see what I have access to, which is a very important differentiator versus traditional PLM systems. So in terms of different types of technical content, we can look at all wide variety of different types of engineering and manufacturing data. In this example right here, we're looking at something that was an engineering drawing, but is now a fully browser-based HTML5 content item within MBE Web. And as you can see here, I can interact with this drawing without downloading any documents. It's all done interactively right here within my browser, and this can be on any device, whether it's a PC, a tablet, your iPhone, your Samsung Galaxy device, what have you. Now, it's not just limited to engineering drawings. As you can see here, we're going to interact with a full 3D model right here within the browser. And this is made possible, again, through the use of HTML5 and WebGL technologies. Over here, we've got a mashup of different types of engineering data. One on the left, you can see that we've got a 3D model of a circuit board, and on the right, you can see here that we've got a logical circuit diagram or a schematic. And so this mashup makes it very easy to not only visualize, for example, where all occurrences of this capacitor are within the board, but then also you can see this cross-highlighting characteristic where I can click on a capacitor here, it'll highlight it in the logical circuit diagram, and then also the physical location on the board itself. And that enables a type of collaboration that typically requires numerous different tools to facilitate. Now finally here, we're looking at a technical data package from some data that Boeing provided to us, and this is a section of a fuselage. You can see here again, I can click on this item and the parts will stream right into my browser, making it easy to interact with this data and large data sets and have that information just stream right in, whether you're on an iPhone or a Samsung phone or a Google Pixel, what have you. Now another thing that you can do is you can create activities. An activity is a way to provide context for problem solving and collaborating with other people either inside or outside your organization. So in this particular activity, we have a time-limited access. So you can see here that this is active from today, which is August 31st through September 30th. And I've invited a coworker, Jim Martin, to participate. And you can see here is that we can add markups to a threaded discussion to help us resolve technical issues or misunderstandings or just to discuss the design intent. So I'm going to add a comment right here. Let's jump in and jump into the technical data package. And so for my comment over here, I'm going to click on this view and we're going to zoom in real closely here. And let's say, hey, I don't know what type of fasteners are being used here, around this section of the body here. So I'm going to grab a markup tool and maybe I'll make a rather thick line here and we'll just highlight something. Now I'm going to capture this and then I'll be able to add a textual comment to the thread. What type of fastener, is used here? So pardon my spelling mistakes. I'm going to post that to the thread, and now Jim will be able to see my comment in real time on the device that he's using. Finally, let's look at an example of manufacturing instructions featuring wire harness information.
Hey, Paul, sorry, let me interject here for just 1 minute. Sorry to interrupt your flow. I wanted to provide a little bit of background here as you get into this particular demonstration around wire harness assembly instructions. Specifically, what we're doing is helping the Boeing team members on the shop floor to more efficiently install the long and complex wire harness assemblies throughout the body of the aircraft as they make their way through the manufacturing process. What Paul is about to show you is somewhat exemplary of the type of data that we can support, that Anark can support, featuring wire harness and PCB information and mechanical systems in a single interactive work instruction or assembly instruction environment. So I just wanted to provide that context quickly. Sorry to interrupt, Paul. Please continue where you were.
So as you can see here, the user interface has completely changed. What we were looking at before is a technical data package. This now is a manufacturing work instruction or maybe an assembly instruction or a maintenance instruction. And what we've got is a interactive environment here. This is a 3D model that I'm looking at. And you can see over here on the right that we have a sequence of steps that I need to step through to learn or to visualize how this particular assembly is going together and what specific requirements there might be for tightening fasteners, etc. So in this particular step, I'm going to click the animate button, and you can see here that those 4 fasteners are mounting this aluminum plate with this wire harness and the circuit card to this nose cone section. So I'll do that again. Now again, just to reiterate, this information, this application is cross-platform, cross-device, 100% native, HTML5 and WebGL, all the technologies that the modern internet is built upon, and that really enables a degree of accessibility and collaboration that just isn't possible with your traditional desktop-based tools. So what we've just seen is several different examples of browser-based content, and again, that's 100% native HTML5 W3C standards content that can be rendered on any browser, on any device, on any platform. In addition to browser-based content, Anarch Core also publishes 3D PDF documents. In this case, fully standards-based, 100% native PRC-based PDFs that can be opened and viewed with the standard Adobe Reader. As you can see here, we've got the same views and the same content published from the same authoritative source, published into PDF in this case, as opposed to browser-based content we saw just a moment ago. So 2 different types of content published from the same authoritative source, all done with Anarch Core. So I'm going to turn this back over to Stephen, who's going to show you a example of an augmented reality or an XR type application.
Thanks very much, Paul. Great demo so far, and a couple of things, just the themes that are popping up here as we go through this. Next up, I'm going to be talking a little bit about how we're supporting some of Boeing's exciting work in the realm of AR and XR and how that's delivering value. But I wanted to comment on a few things that you just showed us and circle back here to the slide that Ed went through earlier, focused on the digital thread with open standards. And I think a few things that come to mind they're very exciting that you showed across a whole myriad of use cases is, one, having that access to the right data, that fit-for-purpose content that enables individuals to do their jobs, whether they're in product development, they're on the shop floor, they're undertaking some sort of maintenance or MRO application, or they're collaborating with their supply chain or other partners, is the idea that any type of technical data that's required to communicate and collaborate more effectively can be provided in a managed browser-based environment with complete flexibility, with complete traceability, including everything from 2D drawings to 3D model-based definition to ECAD information, whatever's required, can be delivered and then flexibly and resiliently updated as needs and changes in process require it. And one of the things that we've learned in working with Boeing, as well as a number of other customers, as we've worked with them in the early parts of their digital transformation and digitalization strategies, is that these types of processes change, and they change rapidly. And it's really important to have both processes and systems that are flexible and resilient enough to be able to change and continue to pursue best practices and ideal processes as needs change. So one of the things that we really try and provide with our web-based system that we've been showcasing here is that resiliency and flexibility to constantly be able to make changes and update or support changes and updates to process in real time. And a template-based and a web-based and browser-based environment is the perfect one to achieve those goals. Okay, now to wrap up the demo portion of our presentation, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about the Boeing XR strategy, which would include augmented reality, virtual reality, and informed reality. And we'll spend a little bit of time talking about those concepts as we go through this. What you see here on the screen is a video of an Anark manufacturing or field service application utilizing a heads-up hands-free display system by our partner RealWear. It was featured at Oracle Open World, the last Oracle Open World, as a part of their Industry 4.0 section of the event. And what you're seeing in this particular example is an informed reality application where Anarch is facilitating the real stream of actual real technical data as web content into into a virtual application in a hands-free application for conducting things like work instructions, assembly instructions, or field service operations, and so forth. This is a complete voice-controlled, complete hands-free application you're seeing here. This is what we would call informed reality, which is really all about providing real authoritative technical data as a part of a XR application. Now, in the case of Boeing, this is something that we'll be helping them achieve with our Anarch core intelligent information management or content management platform by bringing in W3C compliant WebGL-based web content that can really target any type of wearable device for this type of application. In the case of Boeing utilizing either augmented reality or virtual reality applications for their manufacturing or MRO applications, Anarch is actually able to provide a GLTF-based data pipeline, bringing the design and engineering information into the AR application, whether that be provided by Unity or another provider. It could be targeting a device such as HoloLens or Oculus, you name it. It's all about getting that kind of rich content and in-context information to folks on the shop floor in the field so that in a hands-free manner, they have the information they need to do to more efficiently and effectively do their jobs in real time with easier to interpret information, real-time feedback, and therefore increased quality and accelerated timelines. So that's just a little bit of a background on how Anarch is applying open standards and helping Boeing achieve its goals with this overarching XR strategy. Okay, so hopefully this has provided some really helpful information, and the demos have provided some real visual context for the types of solutions, digital threat solutions that Boeing is deploying, and how Anarch is working with Boeing and harnessing open standards to help achieve these objectives. So finally, we wanted to share some key takeaways when we think about what it takes to effectively to deploy an effective digital enterprise strategy. And the first one is that connected, managed access to the right data at the right place at the right time with intuitive, visual, and technical collaboration is really essential for successful enterprise-wide digitalization. Second is open industry standard formats are absolutely essential, and they should serve as a cornerstone of effective digital thread strategy if you want to empower an efficient, flexible system for data distribution, visualization, and collaboration across your organization. And then finally, and this is potentially the most important of the takeaways, and this is borne out by a lot of experience in helping companies succeed with their digital transformation strategies, is that it is absolutely critical that leadership is involved, that there's an organizational commitment, and there's an alignment from leadership all the way through the organization in order to implement an effective, successful digitalization strategy and process change. Otherwise, it's very tempting to go back to older processes and ways of doing things that aren't as efficient. So it really is important to get the whole organization bought in and rowing the same direction if you want to succeed. So before we move into the Q&A portion of this session, I just wanted to, Ed, get your thoughts. We've covered a lot of great information during this presentation and really appreciate you sharing everything that you have about Boeing's second century and digital thread strategy and initiatives. I just walked through these key takeaways and wanted to get your thoughts on how they resonate with you based on your experience in the Boeing journey, and anything else that you would add that you think that the attendees would benefit hearing about.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen, and great partnership with Anark and your team. I think to conclude, I would say that digital transformation is spreading across the industry and government. And certainly within the enterprise, within Boeing. We see a lot of value in model-based engineering and the digital thread as it moves across our company and our strategic value stream. It's more than an IT system upgrade. It includes process redesign and data standards. And what we want to do is capture the highest value for our end-to-end digital processes. So I think as we go forward within Boeing and create, develop, and produce, and then ultimately support our products, we want to have the best tools in place, and certainly making sure that they're in a digital format that can be consumed, in the out years.
Yeah, that makes total sense based on certainly our work together with Boeing as well as many of our other customers. So again, Ed, thanks so much for joining us for this conversation, and Paul, thanks for taking us through the demo portion. That was extremely helpful. And now we'd like to open this up for any questions that the audience may have.